Welcome to Louisiana Heartbeats. I'm Sudie Landry, and today I'm doing something totally different. So I think that we're on a brand new path of reaching outside of the box. Close friend of mine, and a lot of people who know this lady, Rose Hoffman Cormier, there's going to be a benefit for her, and she is dealing with stage 3 colon cancer. But what's so wonderful about being on this show is that this platform with Acadiana Open Channel allows us to do this, follow the rules, and then plug it like we want on YouTube, and from there plug it on Facebook. And it's a short announcement to be able to get this information, but I want you to stay tuned because sitting with me is her close friend, one of her many friends, Linda Rose, and I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. My
So-
pleasure to be here.
Well,
Thank
let's
you,
just let
Sudie.
Acadiana, and you're so welcome, and I just love what you said, friend of a Rose. You are Linda Rose, and Rose Hoffman Cormier is a friend of yours.
Absolutely.
So let's tell the Acadiana, let's remind them who this lady is, first of all, and then why this benefit is going to be done.
Absolutely. Rose Hoffman Cormier has been a huge part of Acadiana for many years. I met Rose when she was a part of the Women's Foundation Education Department, and she would go out into the community and really educate community on so many wonderful, wonderful things that were for families, for young people, for adolescents, etc.
Can you give us a glimpse
So-
into that kind of stuff? Like, I know a little bit about her.
Well, she did a lot of educating, particularly with, for example, if you had a teenager who wanted to become a babysitter,
Oh.
then all of the things that would be very helpful to know, and getting into certification for babysitting and that kind of thing. And then for new mothers and new parents, information about caring for a new baby, which, as I'm sure everyone knows, can have its challenges. So working at Women's and Children's Hospital, that was kind of the focus for women, families, children, adolescents, that type of thing. So I got to know Rose then. I was a part of Women's and Children's at that time, and we did some events together and health fairs and that type of thing. I immediately saw in Rose a woman who was so incredibly passionate and caring. And she wanted to get news and word out and education to as many people as she could, because she was so passionate about doing that and keeping everyone educated. So I was just drawn to Rose and her personality. I don't think I've ever seen Rose, even since she's been facing her challenges, I don't think I've ever seen her without this beautiful, wonderful smile on her face.
She is known for that and those beautiful blue eyes, too.
And those beautiful eyes, too. Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I smile even though, this time is a challenging situation, but I talked with her on the phone briefly this morning, and she still has that uplifting, motivational, encouraging voice no matter what, and that's what is wonderful. But I smile because she has been on the show several years ago, and she dressed up as Marilyn Monroe, one of her characters that she goes out with. But I also ran into her as Mother Goose
Absolutely.
at another event. So this lady really, really, really has given so much to the community
She
and
has.
made a lot of children smile.
Yes,
Well, moving
absolutely.
on to, okay, so here you are, and that's how you met Rose. So now, what is happening? What is this benefit? Tell us a little bit about
Well,
it.
Rose was diagnosed about 6 weeks ago with stage 3 colon cancer. This came as a complete and total shock to Rose. She'd probably not been feeling totally up to par, but with that diagnosis, it was just a real shock to her. So she's been through surgery, and she has just begun her chemotherapy. And so, as many of you probably know, going through a diagnosis of cancer has so many incredible challenges. You're dealing with your work situation, you're dealing with your insurance coverage, you're dealing with a lot of out-of-pocket expenses and so forth. Not to mention the emotional trauma of dealing with an illness such as this. So, so Rose was, I guess, at first in a bit of a shock with it, and then her friends knew that we all knew we needed to be there to support her every step of the way, and do whatever we could to bring her support and keep that beautiful, positive spirit in place.
Well, it's amazing how I found out about it was through someone who had been on my television show, but he had no idea that I already had, come in contact with Rose. But Rose, as we were talking earlier, represents so many people. And like you just said, and you mentioned in a little detail, there's other families going through this too. But what about outlets? I mean, everyone's being affected, like you said. So you had mentioned an outlet where people maybe could check out a web page or something and get more information regarding cancer and the different things, maybe.
Sure.
Would you like to share that verbally?
Yeah, there are many websites that give information about cancer. There's American Cancer Society, the ACS website, which certainly has a tremendous amount of information. There's the National Health Institute, which also has a lot of information about cancer as well. There are many local facilities and agencies that really certainly can help. We're very fortunate to have an American Cancer Society here in Acadiana, and they do a lot to help families and survivors going through cancer.
Well, let's kind of pick up the encouraging part about what's going to be taking place and what's going to be happening at this event coming up soon, Sunday, October 25th. And we definitely want to remind people that they can check out what webpage?
A webpage that's the Rose Hoffman Cormier Benefit. You could find that on Facebook. Facebook information about the Rose Hoffman Cormier Benefit. It will be at the Blue Moon Saloon, which is just a great fun place anyway. Always lots of fun. There are going to be a couple of bands there, Sudie, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And those bands are the Michaud Courville Band and the High Heel Sneakers. So, gee, that sounds like fun, doesn't it?
Already, huh?
Already fun. And, of course, there will be a silent auction available with many local artists participating, jewelry and artwork. I think UL even has a great UL gift basket that will be a part of that auction, because Rose is very dear to the UL alumni and to the UL community. She's an unbelievable supporter of UL and does so much work for them.
Okay, for those people who do not know anything about the Blue Moon Saloon, it has opened its doors to showcase a lot of local youth bands that I'm so excited to get that exposure. And they seem to get really involved in the community if there's a need. But I want to encourage anyone that decides to check it out or attend, that if you're not able to attend, then maybe you would like to make a donation, and therefore you can always check out the Facebook benefit page and find out how you can be a part of this. I know, for example, I fit in that category at this time. Okay, but meanwhile, I want people to know, hey, it is at a location that you may have to park somewhere and you may have to walk, but there's a lot of great areas that you can go. And with that time schedule, you're not charged parking fees after 4 or 5 o'clock. So that's a good thing.
Right.
So we want people not to give up. If you want to attend, find a spot. It's
and
a good
this will
cause.
be on a Sunday afternoon, so usually parking might be a little bit easier.
Yes.
And the good news is most of your favorite football teams will have already played. So you've been through the football for the day, and you can go out and have a little fun.
Well, it already sounds like fun, and you mentioned the bands. Oh, what kind of food?
Oh, there's going to be a jambalaya available for everyone. So that's going to be nice and yummy too.
Well, that's going to be
Yeah.
perfect timing, especially at that time. huh?
Sure. I hear we may have a little bit of a cooler weather that day, so the jambalaya would be absolutely perfect.
Jambalaya is good anytime.
Yes,
It really
yes,
is. It really
indeed,
is.
indeed.
Well, I do want to, I'm excited about, if everybody does a little bit, then a little bit shared with somebody else does a little bit more. And just like posting and helping and sharing on Facebook. Well, I say this a lot in my different shows. I have a big mouth, and that is my gift. So if I can't get out there personally, I can sure run the mouth. And I love sharing when there's good things. I love what's going on in the communities. I love telling people what's going on. There's so many awesome things in this area going on, and it's amazing how people will come out and support the need.
Absolutely.
No matter how strapped we are. I fell in love with Acadiana 48 years ago, and I'm still here.
Well, I left, but I certainly came back because I knew what Acadiana had to offer.
And it's a totally different world just from here to Shreveport, Louisiana, I promise you.
Definitely.
Totally.
I lived in Shreveport too, Sudie.
And it's like a totally different world.
Totally different. Totally
and
different
I just,
world.
the love connection, but that's going to be a blessing in times like this. And as you know, lots of fundraisers happen in our area and in these surrounding towns and things like that.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you give. It's little or large or whatever. It's being there, because the most important thing is to be there and to support someone who's really made a difference in this community.
That's
and
right.
Perhaps in your life. She's probably touched so many lives in this community through the work that she's done.
Well, I will tell you that with a brief conversation, because I was only contacting her to make sure we had all our things together, find out what we were going to be working with, and I was out of town, so I had not seen her post to me earlier, so I was responding a little later than usual. And in the conversation, she said she was just amazed at the people that had reached out to her and how that had made such a difference to know that many people took that time to notify her either on Facebook or send an email or even make the phone call. And that has really, and that's what's good.
That's excellent.
Love can do a whole lot.
You better
Love can
believe
do a whole
it.
lot.
That is very true.
And
I think so many people, when they've learned of Rose's diagnosis, you drop things and you say, I'll be there.
That's right.
I'll be there. I'll do whatever I can.
That's right.
And I believe you're absolutely right. That gives so much support. That picks up the spirit and lets that person know, I'm there for you.
Well, I also shared with her, and I wanted to share with you. I told her, I said, Rose, I need to share something with you. I have a dear friend that when she was many years ago diagnosed with colon cancer in the 4th stage, she is still doing great today. I did not, go into detail as far as, she has a colostomy bag, but she's the most positive person. But I had asked this person to keep Rose in prayer. And when I shared what I shared with Rose, how this other friend of mine is so motivating, then she is going to try to become friends with her on Facebook, because this lady, listen, she is so positive that even anybody negative around this person becomes cheerful. And I think that they're combining together with like-minded people, understand. And I saw a post on Facebook where Rose was talking to another awesome lady, Judy Dunn, and I just thought that was amazing too. And that's another person who has an awesome, encouraging personality. So I really believe that these ladies are going to have the best of the best.
Well, and it does help, I think, to talk with others who are going through a similar experience.
Right.
Because you can share your feelings, your emotions, And sometimes you may not be able to share that with
Right.
just anyone. So I think it's great to develop that support from other survivors who are facing that journey and who are feeling like, I want to not lose this hope I have for an excellent outcome.
Who really understand.
Yes, and who really
Who
understand.
really can understand and know what you're really saying. And people mean well, but if they haven't really been in those situations, sometimes you just say the wrong thing, but not meaning to say the wrong thing. But being the kind of person that Rose is, she would still know that they meant well.
Oh,
The right heart,
absolutely,
the right heart,
absolutely, absolutely.
So I was haven't been able to really talk with a lot, but I have been keeping up with her, and then I find out about this information, and I told her I'd like to be able to do what I can. So she said she appreciates everything, of course. Well, let's go back to you. You are one of her many friends, okay? And you have been working in this area, you said, for years as far as oncology and all of this? Okay.
I've been in cancer care, I hate to say how long, 35 years probably.
Well, amen.
But I love what I do. I too am very passionate about the work that I do. I see diagnosis of cancer virtually on a daily basis, and I do understand the impact that it has on an individual and on families. And there just don't ever seem like there are enough resources there to help families. I didn't mention, Sudie, earlier, but the Miles Perrette Cancer Services does an amazing job with working with all types of cancer patients.
Yes.
They have so many resources that support patients. So if that's certainly another resource for patients, the Miles Perrette Cancer Services.
I am glad you brought that up, because about 3 years ago, the first director that was part of this team, he and I were invited to go out there, and we had permission to do some filming, and of course we knew what we should show, what we couldn't show, and it was where families, and I mean of all ages, children of all ages, and that was so heart-touching, but it was so awesome of the support and the laughter and all of that, and they had a picnic, and I forgot what the day was, a celebration of, more or less, was celebrating a lot of stuff, but they were there, and they were so happy, and some, were newly diagnosed, some were, cancer-free, so they were lifting each other up, and yes, that is an awesome outlet.
It is awesome.
But we don't know what we need to look for unless something hits home.
Oh, that's right.
And that's when you find out
and
all
of
of
a
these
sudden you start scurrying to
That's
say,
right.
who can I turn to? What can I turn to? And there are local services that can really help you. The other thing I'd like to mention, Sudie, is that we're very fortunate in Lafayette to have the amazing medical centers that we have.
Yes.
We have at both of the major hospitals, we have cancer centers providing chemotherapy as well as radiation therapy, and the services provided are these same services that you will get if you go to another area thinking, well, I need to go somewhere else and get treated. We have those services here, a very professional, very the experts here. So I just want everyone to understand that too. We're very blessed in the Lafayette community to have the cancer specialists that we do. So just a reminder of that, because I think the first thing people think is, I've got to go somewhere else.
Way out of town.
Yeah, wherever. But we really do have those services here.
Well, I have had several people I'm very close to that have had some trials with cancer. And so I do appreciate anything that is out there that can give comfort or educate or just send us all in the right direction, or even how to maybe be there in whatever way we can for the person of need, maybe just listening to them, or maybe run an errand for them. Who knows? I know one particular person said, "Sudie, I just need one favor. I'm a retired hairdresser," and she said, "I just need for you to, if you would think about it, come to the hospital and shampoo my hair. I haven't had a good shampoo like you shampoo." Well, I didn't have a traveling tray or nothing, but I find out at the hospital they do. So I got to shampoo her hair.
Perfect.
And then I
Perfect.
got all kinds of invitations to be hired there. Because when everybody else saw what she looked like before and then saw what she looked like after, then they came in and decided
want a
to offer me a
makeover.
job. And it was like, wow, that was a blessing. And that is a need.
Yes.
Of course, later I found out
Yes.
they did install a beauty shop in the hospital,
Nice.
local. I don't know
Nice.
if it's still there.
That's
But
great.
I know that I could have sure stayed busy if I didn't have a full-time job.
Yeah,
But
sure.
what was so rewarding, that was something I could do.
Right. Right.
Take
Exactly.
time and go and shampoo some hair. And when I became very ill, okay, with another situation, I begged my daughters, "Would you please shampoo my hair? It's nothing better than a clean head, whether you get it styled or not."
Yeah.
And I can remember that feeling, how I felt so good.
Yeah,
And she
so
said, "Mom,"
good.
I said, "well, we're too proud sometimes to ask,
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
And so, but
We're
don't.
as women, we're so used to taking care of everyone
Everybody
else.
else.
And, we don't always say, "Oh, I'd like a little pampering too." Another thing that I've heard people do that I think is so welcome is go in and just clean your house a little bit,
Yes.
kind of pick things up and maybe vacuum a little bit or dust a little bit. I think that makes you feel so much better after you've been through a treatment or whatever and you come home to a nice fresh home. I think that's a little something that people can do that makes a big difference as well.
Well, boy, I tell you what, just when I think I have enough ideas for shows, I'm getting more. And sitting here, my mind is like, yes, when I was sick, wow, yes, somebody would have come in and just dust mop the floor. That would have been great,
It'd be great to start some volunteer services to do all those
That's
things.
what I'm talking about.
Yay!
That's what I'm talking about. And I'm serious. I get the best ideas while I'm interviewing somebody or you're sharing. I'm serious. That is a need.
Yes,
Because I
that'd be
was
great.
down and in a wheelchair almost 2 years. And so, but I can still run my mouth, but in between, let's just say this, I am a survivor of a massive heart attack, operating on 25% of a heart, but I'm operating the rest of it on God. So he's made a way where it seems to be no way. So I believe in miracles still.
Yes.
And the whole point is,
Absolutely.
that's what they need. We need a volunteer to coordinate with someone and let them know these services are available. Hello, I will get to work on that. I will need
There
your
you go.
telephone number and everything to contact you and not just Bud
Great.
Rose.
I'd love it. I'd love it.
That would be awesome. I mean, I can
I'd be
go for
happy
this
to
and
help
go
you
for
with
that.
that.
Hey, I would love it. I'm serious.
Great.
It is a
Great.
need because when I finally was able to get back up and on my own, which was a miracle period, I can see when you're talking, that would have made a huge difference. Because I was a fanatic. I didn't want dust, but I couldn't do it. Nobody volunteered
Oh.
to come do it. My kids?
Oh.
Nope, they were doing their thing.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And just,
Yeah.
I mean, if
But
you go.
look how many people are retired but are still active.
Yes.
Or
Good.
stay-at-home moms who want to take a little bit of time just to get out and
Right.
do some other things. So
Really, really, really,
Yeah.
really. You and I just going to have
Oh,
to make an
yeah.
appointment to get
We'll-
together.
we're gonna
Well, I
get
know
busy.
they kind of showed me a few minutes ago how much time we got left. And by this time, I'm sure we're looking at maybe 4 minutes, if that much, left in the show.
Okay.
So we definitely want to remind everybody, take a good look at that background that we have, and that is Rose Hoffman Cormier. Now, I asked her one day why she always says Rose Hoffman Cormier. Well, there's a bunch of others out there, and that's why it's easier for her reason, to stick that Hoffman
She
in there.
wants to be
Different.
Rose Hoffman Cormier.
I'm like, well, I mean, and she wants you to say it. We love you, Rose. I know you're going to be watching
you,
this
Rose. Love
soon.
you.
We do. We love you, love you. But, I mean, it's your fault that we're like this. That's what you made us.
Right.
But the Rose Hoffman Cormier benefit is taking place this Sunday October 25th from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Blue Moon Saloon on 215 East Convent Street here in Lafayette, Louisiana. And of course, if you're interested, just check out the Facebook page, and from there, type in exactly the Rose Hoffman Cormier benefit.
Correct.
And it's going to come up, and you can find out more about all the wonderful food and bands and things like that. So we are definitely getting to the end of the show now. We're ready to close. And so I want to thank everybody that is tuned in. We're now on Monday nights instead of Tuesday nights, every Monday night at 9 p.m. And listen, it just might be you or even, again, Linda Rose sitting here, who is the friend of a Rose, which I think that is awesome. And, you know, that's going to trigger a whole lot of different things. And I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Sue.
And we will be
Thank
sharing
you.
a copy with you and Rose of this show.
Perfect.
And as the rolling credits are coming down, if there's anything you'd like to say?
Just a reminder, Blue Moon Saloon, Sunday, the October 25th, 4 to 8. Please come by, have a lot of fun, help us celebrate the gift of life and Rose's life, that she might keep moving forward in a very strong way.
So, have a blessed day. Remember, tune in.